Good morning, everyone. I thought we'd continue painting this, they call it a fence peeker. And I've created one for St. Patrick's Day. So this is where we left off yesterday. And so we're going to continue on. He's actually almost done. It's just a matter of painting his hat and suit. And he'll be ready to glue together. So the color I always like to use for my green is the Hauser medium green. And it does take a lot of coats, so be prepared. And while I'm at it, I'm going to just go ahead and paint some of these shamrocks that go to another element of this design. And not all the shamrocks are going to have the stems because some of these are pretty tiny. I did go back and adjust the file a little bit, but, you know, they can just be fragile. And it's not really necessary, and you'll see why once we get to that portion of the design. Good morning. Whoa, too much paint. I need to redo this sticky board already. Holy smokes. Good morning. And Rizzy's on a roll. The farm hands are here doing their thing with the cows, and he's not liking it. So I apologize for him barking, but he's a good watchdog, and that's what he's doing. He's looking out for us. So I want to say congratulations to Ohio State Buckeyes. Holy smokes. Way to go. I mean, big time. So, next Friday, we will be in Texas, playing Texas, and Texas played a heck of a game yesterday, but I was actually rooting for Arizona State, and you have nothing to hang your head about. I mean, you guys didn't show up for a long time during that game, but you just come back out of nowhere, so... That was crazy. Now the Notre Dame game will be on today at 4. So I know I want to watch that. You know, we watched the Big Ten conference. We've watched every bowl game. And hopefully nothing crazy goes on down there during the game. I mean, they're going to have a lot of security. But, I mean, wow, is all I can say. I don't understand what makes some people do what they do. I don't know. And then there was something that went on outside a nightclub in Queens. I mean, the world's gone crazy. And I'll have to use a brush for the suit. I'm getting closer to the band. There was definitely some type of critter outside our home early this morning. I don't know what it was, but there was something making a pretty strange sound. Something I never heard before. I know the one farmhand has a dog. Hazel is the dog's name. And it comes down here and visits, and Grizzy does not like it. Well, comes down to get treats, because John gives the dog treats all the time. The dog is spoiled. So, how many people actually have today off due to the holidays? I'm actually off for the rest of the week. And we'll be painting. So I want to get this done, and I want to get my Easter insert done. And then move on to my other interchangeable stuff that I've created. I've got another interchangeable that I think is pretty unique. And it's very, very versatile. So I put a lot of thought in that design. So it'll be interesting to see what people's thoughts are. He's on my last nerve already. I mean, probably technically I shouldn't be worrying about all this in here. Because if you see where this rectangle is, that's actually where the spacer goes. That you'll be gluing the hands onto. But I just rather be safe than sorry. that is annoying. Grizzy's been with us about 8, 9 years now. He showed up to where I was working at the time. And I kind of feel like someone like just abandoned him because he was really, really skinny. My husband and I feel that he was abused. He does not like to go in the car. It traumatizes him. Absolutely traumatizes him. And, you know, I think that's because that's the last probably in the memory he has. And he's a good dog. Very smart. Extremely smart. And extremely barky. If barky is even a word. Very protective. He always lets us know when something's going on. With the way things are nowadays, it's probably a good thing. My pigs were phenomenal. And we will be having those again today. And I already froze a bunch so we can have them throughout the year. But they were really, really good. The only difference I'm gonna do from this year to next year is I usually do half sausage, half ground beef. And so I think next year I'm gonna do more sausage than ground beef. That's the change I'm gonna make. Other than that, no. And they're already on warm, heating up in the slow cooker. And that'll be our lunch, dinner, whatever you want to call it. They're really not that hard to make. I think really the most time-consuming part, and my husband actually does it for me, is coring the cabbage. He does that. But everything just, I mean, I had everything made up, and the cabbages started in less than an hour. And I made a lot of cabbages. So my husband and I always cook together. We always make our meals, you know. It just makes it go quicker. We clean up as we go. Then we have nothing we have to worry about. So that's the way to do it. I don't mind cooking. I like cooking. I'm not too bad of a cook. And that don't like to cook. I don't understand that. I've been cooking ever since junior high. And only you took home ec and you learn how to cook and you learn how to sew. I mean, I think one of the things of being a wife is, cooking, cleaning. A lot of people don't do it though. It's kind of surprising. And it's too expensive to go out and eat. Holy smokes. I mean, when I prepare meals, I kind of have a breakdown of what it's going to cost. And, my husband and I, we can eat for anywhere from $5 to $8 a meal. I don't know where you can get that at in a restaurant. You can't. With the cost of things anymore, you gotta try and budget and spend your money smartly. I don't know if things will ever get back to the way it was or not before this whole COVID stuff. And I definitely want to do some shading underneath the beard, but I'm going to have to be really, really careful. Because the last thing I want to do is get it up on the beard. And with that being curvy the way it is, it's going to make it kind of tough. I think how I'm going to approach it is I'm going to get a small angle brush and try and do the best I can. I won't get a wide float. But then maybe what I'll do after I get that established is maybe go back and dry brush it a little bit. I don't know. I don't want to get all over that beard. Hopefully that's going to be enough right there. I might just let it go because I'm going to shade behind that hat band. Yeah, it takes 3-4 coats of this Hauser medium green to get good coverage. At least to get rid of the blotchiness. Now I have paint in my hands and I don't want to get it on his beard or his face. He is relentless. think I'm actually going to sand the top of this hat a little bit. All right. I know I need to shade and highlight this band. So I get my little cheater pencil out. I'll go back over that. And I think I'll use neutral gray to highlight it. Actually, I need to get more of that paint. I use it a lot. I know they don't sell it at Hobby Lobby because I just ordered some paint. And I absolutely love this brush. And so I ordered another one, along with some other sizes. I like it better than I'm not going to say a very well-known brand, but half the price. It's just as good, and honestly, I think it holds up better. Just my opinion. So while that black's drying, I'm gonna just go ahead and highlight with the Hauser light green. I'm gonna go on the outside of the suit and the hat, and then I'll probably put more highlights here at the top. But I want to make sure that I don't get paint on my beard. And it does take a couple coats because this does fade. But what I'm doing is when I'm hitting those spots close to the beard, I'm going to actually flip my brush around, which I don't like to do that, but I'm going to. I kind of tilt my brush at an angle to avoid that area. And then kind of straighten it out. Now there is a buckle that goes on this. But I'm just looking for a little bit of light highlight. And something else. This is the sleeve. So I'm going to highlight that and then shade. No, I did that wrong. Yes, I did. I certainly did it wrong. I meant to highlight the body because his arms are behind his body. So I did it wrong. But it's not going to hurt anything that I messed up because that's going to get shading, so it'll cover it up. And now Snickers is starting to bark. Okay. I'm just going to walk the float in. At the top corners where it's rounded there to kind of just make it a little bit wider. And I'll just keep going around. And then when I get to the other corner, I'll do the same thing. I mean, I need to reload my brush because I'm not putting a whole lot of paint on there. And just walk it on down to where the band is. And then something else I can do too is, if I really want that pretty big, I can dry brush. I'm gonna have to take a break here probably real soon to see what his deal is. See if he's out of food or water or I don't know what, but he's driving me crazy. He is driving me crazy. And I'm just lightly touching that. And I'm going to do the same thing here where I'm going to focus a lot of highlighting on that rounded part of the band, hat band. I'll just start doing that first, build that up, and then I'm going to come back and highlight around the top of this. And it takes a couple coats of this Hauser light green, I feel, to get a decent highlight. And this is what I mean by walking the float. I start out the very end here, and then I just keep moving my brush over this way. And the paint is on this side of my brush, so the paint is coming off, but also blending at the same time as I keep moving it across. So if you ever hear the term walking the float, that's the technique, and that's what they mean by that. And what that does is, you know, it makes your highlighting that you're doing wider, and Also, you know, the whole thing with highlighting is, and shading too, floating, period, let's put it that way, is you want a gradient. So if you think of a gradient, you think of it goes from dark to light. And so when you walk that float, then it kind of also gradually makes it more lighter too. But that's the effect that you're trying to go for when you do floating. I am blending all my water out today, which is that's not me. And the thing is, when you're blending your paint on, I use a paper palette. I get them from Hobby Lobby. I love them. Kind of on the same consistency of freezer paper, except for with freezer paper, it curls. And I mean, freezer paper definitely is cheaper, a cheaper way to go. But you got to deal with it curling and whatnot. And it's like, I don't want to deal with that. So I just buy these paper palettes. But also too, I could, because they have like a waxy coating on them. I mean, I can wipe them off if I don't leave the paint sit on there for days at a time. I just get a wet wipe and wipe it off. I think I want my float a little bit whiter on top and a little bit more brighter. And hopefully that'll do it. I'm just really focusing on trying to get more lightness on the outside edge. I just think that creates a different look. Let's see here. I think I need to go down the side one more, and then I'm done with the highlighting. And I'll come back and shade. I know I want to go over that band just a little bit more. Boy, my paint's really drying quickly today. Yesterday wasn't too bad. Today, something's changed. Alright. We'll use the Hauser dark green, do a little bit of shading. I think what I'll do is I'll start off by working on right here, and then I'm going to go back with a very small angle brush and see what I can do. I know you've got to water down this Hauser Dark Green, and you really got to blend it because it is dark. And you definitely want to build your shading with this color. And I can't see. I don't know if you can hear my bird down there. She's talking up a storm. Her name is Snickers, and we call her Snickerdoodles. And she's just saying her name over and over and over again. Alright. Oh, Grizzy boy. Well, that ended up being a little bit too darker than what I wanted. Alright. Try a smaller brush and just you gotta just lean it back and forth. As I get close up in here, what I'm doing is I'm tilting my brush. To keep it from going on the beard. And I'm not going to sit there and fuss a whole lot on the shading. I just want a little bit of darker color to create a shadow, but it's just hard to do areas like this and get a wide float. See, and I actually just had his beard. But if you take a Q-tip and wipe it off right away, you can get rid of your oops moments. Let me see. Part of me kind of wants to do like a little shadow, and I'm going to. Hopefully I can, that actually is, I don't know if I like that, but. Just to introduce another color. To the brim of this hat. I keep calling it a hat band and I don't know why. It's a brim. And I think what I'm gonna do, I think I'm gonna get a wider brush. And I'm going to mix some Hauser medium green and some Hauser dark green. I'm out of paint and water. I might try that again. I just want to soften that. Well, now all I have to do is his, excuse me, buckle. And I am definitely going to put some glitter on there, a little shimmer shimmer. I should have gotten that out, because I'm going to need it a lot. I like to use antique gold. To do my buckle. Then we'll go back and put a little shimmer on there. I know I want it pretty sparkly. I think it's best to apply this with a sponge, because there's some type of glue in that. And so instead of taking a chance of ruining your brushes, I would use a sponge. I mean, if you have a small area you have to put it on, or like do very detailed work, I would find a very cruddy brush and apply it. I do know that it takes a while to dry. So while that's doing that, I'm going to start gluing some of this together. I'm not going to glue the hands on, and I'm not going to glue the spacer on right yet. I kind of want to see how it is on the fence before I do that. And I got some new tweezers to replace my old one. So we'll see. It's a pretty good deal on Amazon. So we will see how they work. Because if not, I'm going to have to find out where I got them the first time around. I must put these on the wrong way. They're not even, but that just adds character. And I'm just going to put a strip in the middle. That way, if I don't get it exactly where I want it on the first try. I'm not getting glue all over everywhere. Let's see. The speckle I'm gonna glue in a little bit because it definitely needs to dry. And I'll just kind of show you how this goes. If I can get it off without busting it. It just rests right against the hat band. You just center it. It's pretty easy. But it's pretty sticky, and I want just a little bit more glitter on that, a little bit more sparkle. So I'll let that dry. But this is where we are. And I think he's pretty darn cute. And I do have the spacers here. Like I said, I'm gonna wait just, I mean, let me just see something. Maybe I can't glue those on now. Because he definitely sits in there a little bit different than, the mousse. So I'll go ahead and glue that on now. And then I'm going to take a break, empty my water, and I will be back to start on another part of this. Okay, so I do have to say this. I don't know. Call me crazy. Now, you know, I was looking at this this morning, and it kind of reminds me of one of the Kelsey brothers. The beard and the mustache. I don't know. So you'll have to throw your thought at me on that one. Leave a comment if you watch this after the fact. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I will be back. this is where we are. And like I said, I'm going to glue his hands on later. But you'll glue them up top here, okay, and have them at an angle. That way when he's peeking over the fence, his hands are resting over top of the fence. So I'll just stick those aside and do that later. We're going to work on the next element. And it's going to be this insert. And this line goes on top of it. So what I'm going to start off doing, I am going to stain this a little bit, is there's all kinds of pieces that you glue on here. Okay. And there's gold coins, there's horseshoes. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint those first, and the reason being is they just take longer, you know, because I'm going to put the shimmer on. They just take longer to dry. So I think I'm going to start with that first. But some of these clovers, like one's going to go on the sign once I get it on there. But I'll stick this aside, start gluing. I mean, not gluing, but painting these. And then we're going to have a banner, and the banner is going to say Lucky, and of course the U is going to be a horseshoe. So let's start doing that first. That way it has plenty of time to dry. And then what I'm going to do is I'll just come back. Now, I will tell you this though real quick. Because there's two horseshoes here, this right here you're going to have to paint. You don't glue a coin over top of it. So I'll paint that one too while I'm thinking about it. But everything else, you glue the horseshoes, you glue the coins, and you can see the circles there. And then of course they get shamrocks on top of the coins. But I will do that one first. And then what we'll do is we're going to paint these shamrocks and maybe do a little highlighting, shading on them. But that'll be down the road. So for this design, there's 4 different elements that go with it. We got a banner. We have the fence peeker. And then we have 2 inserts that will go in front of the fence. So it's a pretty, pretty big elements here that go with it. And a lot of elements, it's just not your basic fence and then stick something in front of it. So I'm trying to, create, what's the word I want to use? A scene, a display. And you don't have to use all the elements if you don't want to. That's up to you. And I am going to go back and shade under these, the tops of these horseshoes. I'm not going to try and shade around the coins or highlight. I think that's just, that's too much, too tiny of an area. Just my opinion. I mean, that's something you want to do. You could. And I'm going to use, I think I'm going to use raw sienna this time. Because you want to do all your shading and highlighting first before you add any type of shimmer to it. And I'll probably highlight the tops of these only because I'm doing shading. And I think I'm going to use buttermilk. Because once I put that shimmer on, it's gonna calm the highlighting and shading down. That's a little bit bolder than what I would have liked, but hopefully once I add that gold, it'll calm it down a little bit. I might even add a little bit more to this while I'm at it. I have to be careful when I'm painting that shamrock that I don't end up covering up the gold. And I know I want to do a wash, and I'm going to use honey brown. I'm just going to do this post and then go back and do the sign part. And I'll let that dry and go probably hit it again. Actually put too much paint out. And I'm just doing this very lightly because I don't want to get paint in the engraving area. I'm just kind of, I want it a little bit light, not too dark. Yeah, I put way too much paint out. I did it early. And I'll tell you what, since I did do so much paint, I am going to go around this. That way, if by chance you don't get it lined up, you won't see that bare wood. Just my thought. And when you're doing this method, you want to make sure you keep going, because if you stop, see how that is? You can see that dark line. It doesn't matter because the sign's going to be going over that. But you really want to keep the paint moving and going, because you definitely will see start and stops in this painting method. So try and do this as quickly as you can to avoid that. Like I said, I do want some of the green. Hi, honey. Showing. But I don't want that starting and stopping. It's actually paint that I'm putting on with a wet wipe. Kind of looks like it's doing a stain though, doesn't it? Pretty tricky. I take it you're out in the garage? Alright, we'll let that dry really good. And then I'm going to go back over this and go around the outside of the sign. I want to use milk chocolate, where I put all my paints away. I didn't grab that one. Here it is. I just like going around with milk chocolate. I just think it adds a different color and just makes that pop. Try and get this a little bit darker, just a titch. And spots. I want that grain to show through, because that's the magic of being able to use wood and not that MDF. MDF does not have a grain. So if you're going to do this type of method, take advantage of having wood. Okay, good enough. So, while that is drying, let me just make sure I don't need any more gold shimmer. Yeah. All right. I'm going to go over a couple areas here. I can see somebody just touched up a titch. I'm going to start painting these shamrocks on here. And you're going to need a small sponge to do that, because you want to be careful. You don't want to get it in areas. I mean, if you get them on these horseshoes, yeah, we're covering them up. But, and plus these actually need more coats as well. Some of these too. So I'm going to go back to the Hauser medium green. And I'm actually thinking about painting my banner, the Hauser medium green, doing my lettering in the antique gold. And I think the horseshoe is going to be the only thing that's glitter. That's what I'm thinking. So just take your time and just be careful. Oh, I didn't do that down in there. Yeah, I gotta do that. Didn't even think about that. I mean, there's stuff that glues over it, but rather be safe than sorry. So I'll kind of avoid that area for now. And I might put some shimmer on these shamrocks, but I don't know. I don't want it to be all glittery. But this is going to be very festive. I'll get closer to that with a brush. And I am going to put a little bit of highlighting, attempt to just to kind of separate these clovers a little bit because they are intertwined. That way it just adds a little bit more interest. These will take another coat. Okay, so while that's doing that, let me take a look at something real quick. Okay. So while that's drying, I'm going to go ahead and shade around this, and then it'll just bring a different color to it. I actually want a wider brush. I want a pretty wide float. And I'm kind of going around the edge, around the corner. So it just doesn't look like I started and stopped. Because I'm only gonna, I'll go around the top and the bottom, that'll come back. So I'm just kind of starting at the rounded spot and going up around. And I know I want to shade above where this will go. And I'll probably go back and darken it up with a darker color. We'll see. Then I'm going to kind of go around where this coin would be. Darken that up. And I need to put some more paint on there. So I'm just going to use a brush. I have no idea what he's barking about, but he is just really irritating me today. Probably because my husband is out in the garage. He's on a roll. I'm gonna coat these one more time. Some of them are pretty bad. All right, let's go down this side. See, just adding that shading around that area just gives the sign a different look. And that's what we're looking at. And that just kind of makes that sign kind of pop off the post. And I'm gonna definitely add a little bit more shading. And I might even bring in a darker color. We'll see. Like maybe, I don't know, some asphaltum. Because I want that shading to be a little bit wide. So it looks like it's casting a shadow. Maybe even go a little bit more up here at the top. And then I'll just get a smaller brush and, like I said, go over it with some asphaltum. All right, I think highlighting these are gonna be tough. But I've got to bring a little color because it just looks blasé, these shamrocks. So, let's see. First, I'm going to try with a brush and see how that goes. What's bad is it just takes so many coats of this light. How's our light green? That's what stinks. And I'm not going to do every single tip, and I want to just be careful because, I mean, this could be somewhat delicate. So I'm kind of just like doing how I would do my hearts, just going on the rounded part. And I'm just going oh so gently because I don't want to take a chance of busting anything. And I'm not going to do it on every single one. I'm going to kind of like pick and choose. And then I'm going to come back and actually even do a little shading. I'm going to have to. I mean, these are all intertwined and laying on top of one another. It's a bit of clover, shamrocks, however you want to say it. I could have put score lines on there, but then that just makes for a longer cutting. And then you don't want to highlight and shade, and so oh, that's too much, but oh well. And what I would do, and what I'm going to do for the shading part of this, is I'm just gonna do it like how I would do my hearts and go around the bottom of some of these. That's what I'm gonna do. Well, hi, Lori. I didn't see it come on, so I know you're gone already. I think you're at work. Hopefully it's not too busy. Hopefully Tim's feeling better. But just adding that little bit of highlight kind of changes the looks of these. Just by giving a little bit of color to the tips. All right. Do a little bit of Hauser dark green here and there, and that's about all that I'm gonna do. Just trying to be so careful. My water is filthy again. I'm kind of just like trying to go where like these horseshoes and the coin would be to kind of like cast a shadow. That's another thing I'm doing. Boy, Snickers is on a roll. And then I'm just walking it up, making it wider than other spots. Like I said, some of these are overlapping, so I'm just gonna kind of just create a little bit of shadow. Didn't do a very good job there. I have to go back over that. See if I can fix this one. I might have to go back and highlight that just to fix it. Alright, let's see if I can tidy up. I don't want to do that. What do I think about it? No, that's not a smart choice. Did another bit early. I'm gonna call that good. I mean, you could sit there and just go, go, go. All right, what I need to do is get some rhyme or reason with these, because I need to start gluing these, but I need to figure out which ones go where. And well, that was pretty easy. All right. And now that one goes there. These circles are pretty much all the same size. There might be a couple that are a little bit bigger. And do a good job with that there. Which I'm gonna go over that. So I don't roll like that. Alright, now I gotta figure out which one goes on what. That goes there. Like I said, all these are pretty much the same. I'm missing a clover for this right here. I mean, it's close. I think it's this one. And these are gonna be testy to glue. All right. I need to highlight. Oops, I need to highlight and shade these. I didn't do that. And these are actually going on the sign, is where they're going. I'm just gonna go. Really a pretty cruddy job. I'm gonna just highlight them. I'm gonna shade them. maybe I'll repaint that one because it's missing. Yeah, I'm going to repaint this. Because it's missing a stem and I don't want to do that. I don't want to put it up there like that. It's not how I roll. All right. Do a little shading on this bottom. Then I'm gonna have to empty my water. We'll glue these. On, and then we're on to the next element. I'm kind of wiping off my paint. I don't think my base coat was dry enough. So, let's see if I can clean that up a titch. I'll have to let that dry pretty good before I do any more highlighting and shading. I just wish some of these were a little bit brighter. I'm gonna see something real quick. Oh no, that's not the right color I would. I was gonna put on another color, but that would not be a smart choice. What I was thinking about. I just want these a little bit lighter. I just kind of want it to pop off there a little bit more. Just something about adding the lightness to this just does something. See how much that already faded, even though I went over it? Crazy. So I'm not gonna water down my paint as much. I'm gonna act like I'm floating, but I'm doing more of a dry brush. There's just a little bit of water on my brush, just so I can have a little bit more highlight. Alright. Okay, let me empty my water. Then I'll come back and I'm going to glue this. See where I'm at as far as time goes. Let me see this. I need to highlight this. I forgot. And see if I want to go on to the next part. Or come back on later on today. So, I will be back shortly, and I hope you stick around. busted something off. That. Okay. Let's try and glue these, and it's going to be testy. These pieces are small. I'm going to start by gluing the shamrocks onto the coins. Like this, I don't know, this one doesn't match up. I'm gonna have them a certain way, that's for sure. So, figure out which way goes which way. Okay. Oh. I like these tweezers. It was a pretty good deal. Like 7 of them for like $8 or something. So it was a pretty good deal. So when I glue these on, I'm just gonna put them on which way. Doesn't take a whole lot of glue. I still haven't figured out what he's barking about today. I don't think he knows what he's barking about today. Oh, hey, Connie, how are you? Happy New Year. And thank you, that's very sweet. I hope you had a nice birthday, Christmas baby. And just like that, she's gone. Oh, known her forever. That way that can set up and dry. Whoop. Kind of hard to tell. But this brings in a little bit of gold, a little bit of green, sticking with the gold-green theme. Because St. Patrick's Day is all about the green. And a little bit more glue. And glue the sign on. And this portion is done. And we are halfway done with this design. Kind of hard to see, and I don't want to stick my head in the camera. I don't think that's lined up, but can't really tell. That's, you know, they're all this way and that way. So that's a good thing. All right, you're slip sliding away here. Not good. I might have to clean this. Yeah, I'm gonna have to clean this. So while that's drying and hopefully did not shift, think it did. Let's glue his buckle on. And just try and center it. And he is done. And I might as well do these too while I'm at it. Okay. I might as well glue his hands and get him on the fence. Because I know that takes a little bit of drying. So let me see exactly what I want here. So I kind of want it at this angle. That's way too much glue. And kind of the same for this. Alright, so this is where we are. He's going to sit on the fence, and this is going to go off to the side, down, insert down below. We have another insert and a banner. And this design will be finished. So, with that being said, I'm gonna get off here. I probably will come back on later on today sometime, not sure when. And at least get another element done. Who knows, maybe even finish it up. The other one, I have a pot of gold. I actually changed my pot of gold, so that's gonna be a little bit different. And we have a banner to do, and that's it. And this is done. So I want to thank you to the people that stopped in. Thank you. Greatly appreciate it. And if you folks decide to come back and watch again, I hope so. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.